Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk It Off, the podcast with an identity crisis. I am your host, Del Preston, urging you to be skeptical, not paranoid, and understand the difference. Here we talk about science, technology, education, music, art, the paranormal and unexplained, politics, psychology, and everything else. Today's episode, we talk drones, the benefits of starving, cognitive dissonance, and featured musical group The Big Black Galactic, and my good friend, Huey Lewis. And with that, it's time for Huey Lewis with the News. This is where we check in with 1980s megastar Huey Lewis for current weather conditions. Huey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I know you're up in Alaska today, and they've been going through a bit of a cold snap. Did you get any of that? How cold was it when you arrived last night?
I mean, it was like minus 10.
Wow, that is quite cold. Well, you stay warm over there, brother. Okay, that was Huey Lewis with the news. And now we move on over to the headline segment of the show. First up in headlines, the hunger gains. The fountain of youth exists, but you are not going to like it. And here's why. A new study shows 5 days of hunger a month may reduce risk factors for aging and age-related diseases. The idea, which is referred to as calorie restriction, or CR, is certainly not new, as one rhesus monkey can attest to. The rhesus monkey is a primate whose aging process is very similar to ours. The University of Wisconsin-Madison and the National Institute on Aging reported last month on their rhesus monkey, who has been on a calorie-restricted diet for 27 years. The primate was put on a diet of 30 to 50% less than normal at the age of 16. Now, before you get all animal rights about it, know this. This calorie-restricted diet has extended the life of the animal to an unprecedented age. He is now 43 years old, which is the equivalent of 130 in human years. In a second study, gerontologist Walter Longo at the University of Southern California suggests it is still possible to gain anti-aging benefits without signing up for a lifetime of hunger. Instead, a calorie-restricted diet practiced just 5 days a month for 3 months and repeated at intervals as needed is, quote, safe, feasible, and effective in reducing risk factors for aging and age-related diseases. Some scientists argue the evidence is not sufficient enough to warrant these claims, but there is a great deal of information that trends towards a prolonged and healthier life. Next on headlines is Harrison Ford, quick, duck! Harrison Ford piloted a small plane that landed on a taxiway at John Wayne Airport in Orange County Monday afternoon, flying directly over a waiting 737 with 110 passengers on board, federal officials said. It's reported Ford's plane flew dangerously close to the passenger liner. Ford was instructed to land on the open runway, repeated the instructions back to tower per protocol, but continued to land on the taxiway by mistake. A standard investigation is taking place, and if found necessary, his license could be suspended. This is not his only recent aviation-related incident. Ford experienced an engine failure on his single-engine ST-3KR in March 2015, performing an emergency landing on a golf course. Ford was seriously injured in the incident, and the NTSB traced the cause to a failed part inside the engine's carburetor. Ford is an avid pilot of both helicopter and fixed-winged aircraft. Next on headlines, U.S. ground troops possible in Syria. From Washington, the Defense Department might propose that the U.S. send conventional ground combat forces into northern Syria for the first time to speed up the fight against ISIS. It's possible that you may see conventional forces hit the ground in Syria for some period of time, one defense official stated. But the official emphasized that any decision is ultimately up to President Donald Trump, who has ordered his defense secretary to come up with a proposal to combat ISIS before the end of the month. American boots on the ground in Syria would mean increased tensions with other nations in the region and mark the second time since his inauguration the president has elected to use military forces. Next up in headlines, drones will be delivering your Amazon packages. Well, the future of deliveries is here, and they will be carried out by none other than, of course, drones. Amazon received a patent approval this past Tuesday for flying automated delivery drones. Sorry, already drowning postal service. Amazon announced in a series of press releases, commercials, and videos that it will be offering a 30-minute air delivery option for its Prime members. Simply pay for your item, select the air delivery option, and shortly after you will be visited by one of their carrier drones with package in hand. Members will be required to buy a square landing mat that drones use to detect your location and to drop your package on. It is even equipped with bird evasion software that enables it to quickly move out of the way from other flying objects it might come across while en route to your home. Its only downfall is for customers that live in buildings or other city structures without private areas for landing. Narrow streets and messy power lines can also become an issue. As the law currently stands in the United States, it is illegal to drop a package from an autonomous vehicle, something that Amazon would need to get repealed in order to offer this officially. And that is going to wrap up our headline segment. And from there, we're going to stay on the topic of drones, and we're going to move into another segment I like to call iRobot. Welcome to Dubai, home of the world's tallest building and indoor ski resort, and coming in July 2017, a drone passenger service featuring China's Yihang 184. Made by the drone maker Beijing Yihang Creation Science and Technology Corporation, the Yihang 184 is a passenger drone that can carry a single person and luggage of up to 220 pounds. And that might not sound like much, but the weight of an average Chinese citizen is much lighter compared to Americans. The Yihang looks very much like a small helicopter. It has 4 large topside rotors, making it a quadcopter. It has enough battery power to fly a range of just over 30 miles at speeds up to 100 miles per hour. The Yihang 184 is also highly autonomous. While its flight computer is linked to a command center with some human oversight, the flight computer is capable of making emergency landings, self-diagnosing issues, and avoiding obstacles. It seems the age of being driven from one destination to another by a fellow human being might be about to come to a close with this announcement. The head of Dubai's Roads and Transportation Authority, Matt Al-Tayer, said that the municipal authorities have already tested the Yihang 184 in the skies and found it to be safe and satisfactory. The concept is that, much like a limo service, it will carry VIP passengers via the air to local destinations, such as from the airport to urban points of interest and importance. The drone is part of Dubai's wider push for a futuristic transit system, an effort that also wants 25% of all vehicles to be automated by 2030. They also have plans to create a hyperloop linking the city to Abu Dhabi. Now, 2030 might seem like a ways off for some of us, but in reality, it is right around the corner. That's only 13 years from now, and it's starting now. Right here in 2017 with automated taxi rides. This high-profile service debut of the Yihang 184 is a victory, not just for Chinese unmanned aviation, but also for visions of autonomous and networked systems being used worldwide. In addition, this technology can potentially be applied to medical evacuation in the military. Imagine the lives that could be saved with the uninhibited speed and response of a drone. If you're starting to feel like Skynet is just around the corner after listening to this, please don't worry. All of this automation is going to lead to the improvement of virtually every system. Your life will be streamlined, and you will enjoy more hours of free time every day as a result. Medical assistance, defense and military assistance, living assistance, all leads to you living a less stressful and better quality of life. Imagine you open your Uber app looking for a ride to, say, downtown Cleveland, and you live in a town about 60 miles away. A drive that would normally take you an hour and a half. Within minutes, an automated helicopter shows up at your house. You get in, and within seconds, you are sent rocketing towards your destination at 2 times the speed you could ever drive there. This turns what would normally be an all-day affair into lunch plans. Now that, in my opinion, is pretty cool. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this edition of iRobot. Next up is our Rock and Soul segment. And Rock and Soul is where I like to feature lesser-known artists that I know about and I think perhaps you might like to know about. We feature musical artists, illustrators, painters, photographers, artists of all kinds. We don't discriminate. Now, my plans for this segment, for this episode, did fall through, and I'm unable to provide you with the content that I wanted to. But luckily, I just happen to be a musician myself. And today I'm going to play a song from a musical group that I play lead guitar and also offer backup vocals to, Eastern Rift. Eastern Rift is a rock band from Sandusky, Ohio. Now, normally I would go on and talk a little bit more about the artist, but as I'm in the band, I feel it's a little self-indulgent. So instead of talking, I'm just going to cut right to the track. Here it is, Eastern Rift with G-String Blues.
In the crime, she'll give it up. Well, I shall make you pay. Living all night, sleeping all day, never seems to lose its way. She got up sick and threw a big fit, not a dime left in this place. But yeah, she knows. She keeps rolling, rolling on. But yeah, she knows. She keeps rolling, rolling on. Well, she gets up there to make some more well with the same old attitude. She makes it all ring with dancing and a singing. That's what she's gotta do. That's what she's gotta do. Soon as you think it's over, her eyes grab your shoulder. She's crying out your name. Her pretty eyes will catch her in the crime. She'll give it up. Will also make you pay. Yeah.
There we were, Eastern Rift with G-String Blues. As I mentioned, a band that I'm fortunate enough to be a part of. A group of great guys, super talented, all around, class act. Now, if you like us, check us out on social media, give us a like, give us a listen. We just got done recording, mixing, and mastering a brand new album filled with all original material, and that will be coming soon, and I will most likely feature that on the show as well. That's going to wrap it up for Rock and Soul for today, and now we're going to move on to a segment I call Psych Out. Psych Out is a segment where we talk about psychology, because sometimes you just need to know why you do the things you do, right? This edition of Psych Out, we discuss cognitive dissonance. And if you have had a conversation with more than one other person within the last year about anything controversial, you will understand why. The definition of cognitive dissonance is this. In psychology, cognitive dissonance is the mental stress or discomfort experienced by a person who simultaneously holds two or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values, when performing an action that contradicts those beliefs, ideas, and values, or when confronted with new information that contradicts existing beliefs, ideas, and values. So basically, when you or someone does or says something that goes against your perception of the way things are or should be, your brain sounds the alarm bell. We are all familiar with this feeling. Let me give you some examples. Say you were out with some friends and you had a few drinks too many, or if you don't drink, say you got caught up in the moment and you wound up doing some things you later regretted. The discomfort you experience when you think back at your less than appropriate actions is cognitive dissonance. Here's another example. Imagine you have been training aggressively for an upcoming triathlon that you are competing in. To help you improve your performance and speed up your body's reaction time to exercise, you start taking a new supplement that claims to do exactly that. For months, you keep taking this supplement in addition to your workouts, and you are quite pleased with the results. While at the gym one day, you have a conversation with a personal trainer, and he tells you that the supplements you are taking do not actually help you in any way and that you shouldn't waste your money on them. You instantly become angry with this person. You tell them they don't know what they're talking about and that you know for certain they work. How could they not, you ask? I mean, just look at me. I am a total smoke show. The anger and discomfort you experienced as a result of this new information is cognitive dissonance. But you don't stop there. You drive straight home and begin an online investigation. Let's stop here for a second because this is where your brain really starts to do some funny things to you. What you do next is something that happens as a side effect of cognitive dissonance all the time. Let's see what happens. Your initial searches do in fact confirm what the personal trainer had told you. It seems the company that makes this supplement has a long history of selling supplements with bogus claims. From alleviating headaches all the way to curing cancer, they seem to offer something for just about everything. You feel very upset and cheated. You can't wrap your mind around the possibility that your supplements did nothing for you after all this time and money you have invested. You have even become somewhat of an independent spokesperson for them, telling your friends and family what an amazing addition to your life they have been. Unable to shake it off, you continue your search. Finally, you come across a site that is filled with people claiming that the supplements do work and that the scientists who set out to disprove them actually work for pharmaceutical companies, and that it is all a part of a big conspiracy to force you into buying expensive prescription drugs instead of using the humble, less expensive plant power contained in the company's variety of supplements. Now, let's stop again. Did you hear what just happened? Your cognitive dissonance was so overwhelming that you refused to accept the information as factual. Even when presented with additional confirmation, you looked until you found information that fit how you felt. then all was safe inside your head again. This is called confirmation bias, and it goes hand in hand with your cognitive dissonance as one leads to the other. This happens all the time in so many ways that it would take an eternity to fully cover. With our modern technology, it is very difficult not to fall victim to your cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias. There is an endless supply of bad information out there for you to keep yourself comforted with, so be mindful of what you read into. Always ask yourself, am I looking for truth or looking for my own opinion? And with that, we are going to wrap up Psych Out and wrap up this episode of Talk It Off. If you would like to contact me here at the show, you can email me at talkitoff@yahoo.com. I will be happy to listen to your questions and comments as well as answer anything I might be able to help you with. Links are provided in this episode's description, all source articles used listed by segment. I'm your host, Del Preston, and as always, thank you for listening.